Hello everybody and welcome to another live presentation by me. We'll just wait here for a few minutes, probably a couple of minutes early, but just gives time for anybody that might be coming on to just settle in, and I'll just wait for that to take place. Apologies in advance for deleting the last one, which is why I thought I would actually do another one with a slight different edge, of course. I never do things exactly the same, they're never planned. So yeah, a little bit of other information I feel tonight, but I will be retracing some old steps from the last video as well, because I don't think we can have too much of this information at the moment. Hello Kay, how are you? As always, lovely to see you. Hi Marilyn, I can see you too. This is good. So it's really handy being I can see comments at the moment, so while I can I will. A lot of comments, please write, please type anything that you feel you want answered. If I see them, I get them. A lot of them I don't. I see them after the fact, so I will answer all comments and anything that I receive. If I don't get to you tonight, I will definitely get to you following this live event. So yeah, we'll just hang loose Mother Goose a bit longer and see how we can share this word as well, because it's so important for everyone to hear the truth and receive the energies that they can utilise, hopefully. I'm very well, thank you, Kay. I'm really good. Yep. Hi Jane, how are you? Nice to see you too. Yeah, I'm travelling well. I can't say anything but that truth. I'm okay. Life's flowing for me, and I am feeling the collective energies. I wake up some mornings and can feel the, whoa, man, things have shifted. That's my job. That's what I'm here to do too. So I work with that, and then I can feel the bliss. So it's a huge range of energies at the moment for many, and that's all okay. I just want to keep reiterating, it's all okay. It's all okay. It's all okay. Don't fret. So yeah, we'll give it another minute and then we'll start, because again, I don't know. I see Tegan's watching. Hi Tegan. I never know how many are out there. There's a few that I see with eyes that gives me an idea how many are actually direct with me, but we'll just go with the flow. So give it a few more seconds and we'll kick off. So if you've got your water and you're comfortable. Whoever is watching tonight, be it just watching in the distance or you're with me wanting to comment, just be aware of setting yourself up in your higher vibrational field, however that is for you, whatever it is, be it crystals, be it your thought, be it a vision, just because this is such a profound aspect of truth that I am coming forth with, and I do know how ego likes to deflect away from this, so it might be distracting to you, or you might have trouble connecting tonight. Just if there's any issues at your end, be alert to that. It's amazing the power of our lower ego. So just get the violet flame booted up, be in a bubble, you star, just be in your space of energy that maintains you, and then watch the difference. Okay, these are all great teachings. All right, well look, let's get going for tonight, I think, because I'm not going to try and go into some major lengthy speech. I just want it to be as clear-cut information as I can to assist everybody at the moment. So, as I said, my purpose always is to be the clearest divine vessel of love and truth that I can be, for source to flow through, and that doesn't change tonight. My truth, and the highest truth, as I've written earlier, if you've watched posts prior, is simply the absence of fear. That is what truth is. If truth has any, we often have our own truths, we have our opinions. Opinions aren't truth. The highest truth, I can tell you, they are just aspects of your beliefs. And again, we're trying to discern our way through what is truth and what is ego, so that we can become the clearest vessels of light that we can be also. Because as awakened beings, I don't care how you perceive yourself, how awakened you are or not. I'm just going to take that off the screen for the minute. You are awake if you are here. You are conscious if you are listening. Just because I have these words, this information, this energy that I'm imparting, doesn't mean that I know more than you. Okay, let's get right to the core here of what is truth. The truth is we are all souls at the highest level. We are all wondrous beings of light that stem from the same source. We all have access to the same wisdom. You know your answers, I know my answers. No one is better than another. We are just on differing programs and timelines of awakening. Your soul agreed to this prior incarnation when you would awaken. Okay, the time is now for everyone to awaken on some level, which is why the rattling, shaking, rattle and roll is all happening. But there are many aspects of higher truth to this too. So as we go through tonight, I want you to be open as you possibly can. Discern everything, and we'll get into that term in a moment. But feel your way through. And you may feel things now, you may not feel resonance now, but it may come to you later. My words that I'm speaking are simply the seeds of truth to ignite the cells within your being as you listen to this, or as many times as you may choose to listen to this. So that is entirely up to you. Again, to comprehend this incredible moment in time, we all really have to come back to some really good energetic basics of truth. That is, you are soul first. You have chosen this incarnation. This is truth, okay? You've just chosen to forget it for the journey. The journey is now shifting greatly, which is why these moments in time are occurring, because sadly, and not wrong or rightly, but many souls were given and have been tried to, been alerted to from their deeper soul awakening and their heart song to awaken earlier and to get their act together, so to speak. The resistance in fear and the level of fear that each one of us has personally chosen to walk is that resistance to us waking up. So many actually of you, us, are meant to have been awake by now, but resistance has prevented that acceleration. And truthfully, many souls got to such a level of lower vibration and fear-based matrices and patterns that apathy set in. And we became very isolated and even more separated from the truth of that which we are, which is we are creators. We are the creators of our being. We are the creators of our world. Okay? So in every moment, we are creating through the power of our choice. And choice is your throat chakra. Choice is your will. And we are here to make now higher choices as we are able to discern the energies not only around us of what's happening, but the energies that we are feeling in either reaction or response within us. And this is where the keys start to come about, fear and discernment, which I'm going to start there. Fear you have brought through with you from other lifetimes. Remembering what energy is. Energy simply, and we did this last time, energy is a vibration, a frequency, a waveform that cannot be destroyed ever. Every science book you can read this in. However, energy can be transformed and it can be transmuted. Now, these are your two key words to hold on to from this moment forth. Because every lower vibration can be transformed and transmuted, which means nothing is fixed, nothing is finite, nothing is stuck, ever. Energy can't be. It's constantly in motion, it's constantly moving. You might not see it because of the density that we've chosen to become, but those of us that as we start to awaken and we start to release the fear-based programs and the vibration goes up, we start to be able to see. We start to be able to feel more. We start to be able to have the higher skills come into us because simply it's about vibration. It's not about you as a person. It's not about how good you've been, what nice deeds you've done. It has nothing to do with the personality. Your personality is the ego, the lower ego. So now we want to reconnect to the heart. We want to start really coming back into here. So how do we start to shift this? How do we start to even make a movement on this fear that we are so obviously seeing in our world? But we need to understand what that fear is, as I've just said. Now, fear is this pattern that you recognize far more readily and far easily than you do truthfully love in operation. Okay, because fear we have known the voice of, we have played the game with it for hundreds of thousands of years and lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. Now this lifetime, and I just wrote this at the beginning of the top of this live feed, because it's really important to remember, and it gives you a bit of an inkling as to the sizing and the expansion of what's taking place here. This current lifetime, this current moment of now, we are now ceasing the matrices and all timelines and patterns associated with karma. So where we have incarnated in the past to get it right again, to give ourselves at soul level another chance to rectify, rebalance the deeds, the injustices that we had put upon us or we put upon others. Remember this, please. You're not perfect in any way. We are at the highest level, but when ego's involved, we're not. Because ego's played it both ways. So there's a lot of density that we have carried forth. It's in our cells, it's in our mental bodies, it's in our emotional fields, it's in our grand etheric fields, and we're feeling it and witnessing it in the physical field right now. As I explained last time, 12-12-12 of this millennium was the major shifting force. This is when, as the higher doctrines have prophesied for a long, long time, this was the death then of a consciousness state of the lower ego as we knew it to be. So we're now in this amazing process of creating heaven on earth, of creating fifth dimensional frequencies existing now in this space where we are perceiving reality to be. Heaven is not a place to get to. Nirvana is not a place to get to. You can't get there. No one's going to create it for you in physical. The place that you are striving to be is a consciousness state. A state within the self where you are peace, where you are and understand that heaven on earth is not out there but within here. Nirvana is when you are absent of fear. When you reach the highest echelon states of the Buddha, the Christ energy, the frequencies of the unbelievable hierarchical structures of energy beyond this physical plane. We know them, we are part of them at soul level, not in physical form. And so remember, as I said last time, the grand multidimensional being you are is well beyond the physical plane, and this is like one tiny filament thread that you're experiencing of yourself. You are so much more. And we're now on the remembrance mission of discovering who we really are again, and that we are grand creators, and that we aren't subject to powerless states, to sacrificial aspects, to suffering, to pain, to all that we see and what we're witnessing now, and ultimately death. All those states are a state of consciousness of forgetting who you truly are. And we became literally entrapped within the matrices of those thought forms. And we have lived them out, and we have replayed them and replayed them and replayed them lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. And the game or the movie that we're in was able to support that. But that has shifted since 12-12-12, and it is shifting now. Okay, so we come back into these two words of discernment, fear and discernment. So as I said, fear, is almost a dirty word for a lot of people, because people don't even want to recognize they have fear. So let's throw that word out for a minute. If you can work on fear levels, great. Start looking with grace, with love, not in any fearful based state, but that expansion of, oh, wow, I want to find who I am. Who can I be? How can I address this? Lighten up the talk as you want to expand your knowledge and wisdom. Okay, so in that ego state, that lesser vibrationary state, most people will recognize doubt. Doubt is that confused, chaotic state where you aren't in true power, you really aren't in control in any way, or you might think you are, but you're not if you're being honest. It's a very chaotic state, as I said. It's a disruptive state. Ego is never an energy that has your back, or does it have your expansion. It's a limiting force, which is why when you go into fear, you go into shutdown. And your physical body shows it goes into shutdown. It will shut down organs to preserve you in fight-flight mode. Physiological evidence will show that to you. Where the heart, and I posted this the other day, I sent 2 diagrams out on the page of the electromagnetics of fear and of love. They are 2 differing vibrations completely. So fear is this very limiting aspect that we've all been stuck in for a long time. And as I said, we're now on the last wheel. We are now moving into a higher spiraling wheel where reincarnation will not be any more. So we aren't coming back to get it right now. We're getting it right now, which is why it's coming to the surface. And as I said last time with that 12, 12, 12, or the 11, 11, 11 last time actually, those codes of fear that supported that game of fear, the journey of fear to expand and take our free will, and we chose this, remember, as dark as we possibly can to see as much light as we possibly could in the dark, okay? We are now shifting out of that. Absolutely. And it is our free will that we're here. And so for many people in this moment too, what do we do when we're in panic? We start looking outward. We go into our powerless state, wanting something else, somebody else, whatever, doctors, you name it, vaccines, whatever can fix this for us. Make this go away. Why do we do this? Because we're in fear of it. We're uncomfortable with it. We don't like it. So we want things gone. We want things nice. But that's not the reality now. The reality now is for us all to realise we have the ability to make the shift. We have the ability to make things more comfortable for us. In fact, we're the only ones that can. And to do that, we have to start tackling this. We have to start being honest to ourselves, being truthful to ourselves about how we are feeling. To do that, truthfully, we must disengage. We have to disengage from all the fear-based stories, timelines, people, television, social media, whichever way it's coming. If you are getting caught up, because what ego loves a good drama. It loves to get caught up in the and the fuss of it all and the flurry, and it carries on and it's in its big momentum, and there's a really different energy even at play here. So if you're being caught up and you just need to keep feeding that energy in, and you keep watching the programs and you keep watching the news and you keep having this feed, it's like an addiction to the ego. The ego wants you to keep remaining stuck here. Because if you're being honest again, every time you might try to have a higher thought, or you might try to shift your energies or to move, if you're really conscious at times, you'll see how quickly you might be distracted, or you'll tell yourself it's too hard, or you'll make justifications or excuses. Can I please tell you, this is ego not wanting you to expand. It doesn't want you to grow. It wants you to remain exactly where it's got you. And truly that is a powerless state. So as we go back to the beginning of what I said, we are true powers and creators. So that's not in our alignment of who we really are at the heart level. And the heart will never yell at you to get your attention, because it knows, it just waits with grace and love going, you wanted this game, you wanted this journey, you wanted this expansion and experience. So I know how amazing you are. I'm just going to wait here till you're ready. And I'm here with all the bits and pieces and the energies and frequencies you need to move forward. So, we get into this amazing, we're like we've been in this amazing fog in every lifetime, but certainly this one. Because now all those fears that we had nicely placed behind doors up till 12, 12, 12 or 11, 11, 11, as I said last week, the doors are open. It's not being supported. The Earth Mother won't support the game. She is a game all about love now. She's transiting. She's in 5D. Anyone upon her has got to get their frequencies online with her, which is where the frictious states are happening now, because there's much that's not in alignment. So that malalignment is also your energies and your matrices within that. Your soul, as you're awakening now, which is taking charge of at your highest level, is breaking down. So as energy breaks down, and as matrices and sacred geometries break down, and they do, energy is very chaotic. It's very disruptive. It looks very, very messy. But in time, as we know, they reform into a much higher and a more supportive vibration that is part of your next step forward. And what I love about spirit is, please note this one too. Whatever you think you're looking at in physical, whatever you believe you think you know that is happening, spirit is the greatest paradox of all time and space, where the opposite is actually true. So here again, that statement where we think the world is crashing and burning like we've never seen before, there is actually this incredible program of light that's building us up into a new dynamic like never before. So how does this happen? Because energy is one at every given moment. Energy has the potential always to be positive or negative. That's it. It doesn't mean either is right or wrong, good or bad. That's an ego polarity game that we came in of complementary opposites to experience. In truth, it is simply just energy of positive or negative. That's it. In physical, what makes it different is you and the consciousness state. So where your thinking is, how you're thinking, where you're placing the focus of your energy of thought, you will be going in either direction of positive or negative accordingly. When you are neither, but you're neutral, and you become the observer and you're non-reactive to anything, you're in this very balanced state where the two are as one, and neither is a dominating force of positive or negative. It is just balanced harmony. And that's the state that we're aiming to be. So in this current world, we're seeing a lot of this bloop, bloop, bloop of negative, a lot of fear being promoted. Okay? And it has to be because, as I said, the complementary opposite right now is light, and light is pummeling this planet. We have never been under the effects of gamma radiation, photonic light, which is increasing in ever increasing doses every day. It is so enlightening and illuminating, literally, if you think of these words. It is coming in to the earth plane from all the galactic forces. We have so many benevolent beings of light that are coming to witness this incredible expansion that we're about to undertake, which has never ever happened before. And we are so supported in this journey right now with love. They are coming in to assist on so many levels, not only to watch, as I said, but to throw and send us their incredible vibrations of love to support us on this journey. Because love is the answer, okay? Love is that highest vibration. So here we are now in this moment. So as we're seeing fear rising, it's rising because the light is pushing it. It's pushing it out of your cells. It's pushing and displacing these old frequencies right up to the surface so that you can hold and absorb more light coming into your being as you now shift from a physical structure into a highly enlightened being. So many enlightened beings will actually be developing now their light bodies, which will give them that auric glow in not too far a distant future. And so we will see the great differences. But how we can now assist ourselves is we have to work with ourselves. And we can actually, and we will. There'll be many of us that are working towards the enlightened state, and we will be witnessing, even in the midst of chaos, we will be in balance without reaction because we know we're seeing the grander picture in play, and so we don't engage. But we'll also be able to hold our vibration of being in nirvana and having a blissful time at the same time because, again, energies are complementary. They work together as one, and it's not, you can't have one without the other. You can be one or the other in this moment of now. So we don't have to fix something outside to get there. We have to come inside to see our own state of being. and now really start truly adjusting the vibrations within us. Now I want to sort of raise a different point here too, because as we start to now, it's that word discernment, I guess, before I move on to that next part actually. As we start to come within, as we start to become more awake, okay, ego will react. Please know that this is your calling card. Ego will react. That's how you know when you're in ego state. And it will take your test of your will to shift that. It's not going to just disappear. It needs you to take the action, to recognize consciously, and then make the choice of going, do I want to play this game? Am I reacting? Yes, I am. Do I want to keep playing? Here's my choice. No, I don't. Well, then I need to do something about that. And that's up to each and every one of us. No one can do this for us. This is the game we signed up for. So the test is always, ego is your thoughts. It's going off, off, off. The head's talking. If you've got a busy head, there's lots going on in your head. It's non-stop. It's getting louder. You can't sleep at night. Your thoughts are going. This is your ego really pounding you. Because as I said, the heart doesn't do that. It doesn't need to. So the question I've been asked for years is, how do I know when I'm in my heart or my ego? Well, there was your ego answer. It's really simple. This is how I did it, truthfully. This was my biggest post, and I'll give you other skills shortly. But this was my biggest barometer check always. The minute I could see I was reacting, I just had to pull up stumps straight away, withdraw my energies, and I'd go to the toilet or go into my room or wherever I could get away from that moment in time, take a breath, be honest, own I'm reacting, and then look at who's before me, what the situation is, what the words were, and then reflect on myself about what that mirror is for me. And this is the way forward for the ego. And as we start to move through that, and as we start to become more empowered with that, because this is the only way we become more empowered is by raising our power within us back to here, then we can start to discern as we start to realize, hang on, I'm starting to be aware there's two voices within me, and there are, because there's the voice of ego that we don't even recognize just runs the world and your being. But here's this other voice within us. It's not the voice, but it's the feeling. So the feeling is where now I want you to also start looking toward. How am I feeling in this moment? And if you know you're reacting, well, you've sorted that one out, move through it as best you can. If you're in that space of wanting to just check yourself today, right now, how am I feeling right now? Own it. Feel it. Well, I'm a bit anxious, or I'm feeling okay, or no, I'm pretty good. This. If you're lying to yourself, you can't get anywhere. I can tell you, this is really about honesty to you first, and that's all your heart wants. It knows when you're being honest. You can use all the words you want, but your heart knows when you're not telling the truth. So you can't kid anybody except yourself. Okay? So that feeling part of you is what's vital now. How am I feeling? As I said, own it. If you're not feeling okay, say that to yourself. Well, right now, you know what? This is what I'm feeling. And if we bring in these two words, now here's a big first skill. I am feeling. Because the minute you bring I am in, you are in the present moment of now. So you're bringing all your energies from the past, from the future, into now. I am feeling this way now. And then work through those feelings. What does that mean? Where does this come from? Is it something that I can look at now? Is it something I just need to own right now? Is it something I just need to say, I am not enjoying this right now. I am not okay right now. Now, if you are being honest to you, your heart hears that truth and your vibration goes up straight away. If you say off your chest, this is what's going on with me, and if you write, however you can express the energy to move it through your feeling body, not your thinking body, because it will just go round and round and round and round and go nowhere. It just builds up momentum of energy, and then you're exhausted. Feel your way through it and displace the energies. And you will feel instantly better this much or however much you're ready to feel. Okay? That's the path forward. Now, when I talk about discernment, and this is a big key word here, discernment is where we all are aiming to be. Not opinion, not our thoughts, not what we think, but discernment. Now, to discern, I remember, I had caught up with my cousin not long ago, and we were chatting about stuff, and I could feel his resistance to me and my energies at times, which is fine. I love him unconditionally. But there was one point when we were talking about fear, and he said to me, well, it's actually okay. It's not a bad thing to have a bit of fear. And I thought, no, it's not actually. It's not okay to have any fear. It's okay to be working through fear, but it's not okay to keep holding this fear, because the fear is what's keeping you limited out of the truth of who you really are. So what I feel people get confused on is when they think that fear is what might keep them safe or keep them on alert or keep them from harming themselves or doing something, is actually the word discernment that you want to start using. Now, how discernment works is, and this is again a very interesting take on spirituality, because again, old thinking of spirituality is we've got to be positive, we've got to talk our way through it, it's all okay, we're okay, we're going to be fine, no, I can do this, yes, it's positive, I'm saying affirmations, and that's all great, but you've got to believe what you're saying. So a lot of the times in positivity, we're saying something, but that other voice I've talked about, your other voice of fear, is going, I don't believe that. I don't even believe what I'm saying. This is just, I can hear it. And I can feel the part of me that's going, I'm not in alignment even with myself. And what we want you is in alignment with yourself. So this is that aspect where we start. If we start with what we're feeling and thinking, well, not feeling here, we're thinking, we start to work through down into the feeling aspect, then we can come into this space where we start to realize how this other voice subconsciously is actually taking charge of our world, and it does. But discerning, when we discern, we are coming directly to the heart. Discernment, as I said, is when the heart and your higher self will intuitively alert you. Now, this isn't a fear, it's an alert of energy. To be awake, to be alert, to be observing, to how energies in a moment of time may well be about to affect you or not in alignment with you. Now, that isn't fear, and this is that very fine line, because spirit is always a fine line. To discern something is to feel in your being, this doesn't feel okay to me, and I've got to honour my feeling. I'm not engaged with fear, and this is what we've got to keep a check on, is this fear? And we have to discern the fear and transmute and transform that. But we need to be alert to, no, I don't feel this place is for me. Energetically, I don't feel that I need to be there. I don't feel that I need to be with this person right now. I don't feel that I need to come out and talk to somebody. I feel I need to be at home. I feel I need to, whatever the feeling is. This is the discernment. This is where your intuition is coming through you, and it will come through your gut. In your solar plexus is the last bastion. If you missed it in the heart, the gut catches it for you. And then it's that fine line of feeling and trusting in your feeling. Because a lot of the times we can discern and we can get our intuition, but how fast we've switched it out of here, straight up to here, and then we've talked it away. And we found ourselves back on the old path of walking fear, walking doubt, and following old pathways with old people, and we're stuck back and we think, man, how did I get here? I knew that I didn't want to be here or do that or whatever it was in the moment. It's coming back to this and trusting that feeling as you get it. Now, again, it's not going to be an overnight thing, but it's in the action of you in the doing that you gain in your wisdom. It's taking the action of knowledge of however you want to walk your path that you gain in the wisdom of what works for you. Now, as I said last time, I don't expect everyone to be me. How could you? I'm me, you're you. That's it. I have made my soul contracts. I'm on here for my specific mission. You're here for yours. Okay? So now I just want to bring into you the assistance to help you through this. Because again, we have to remember, and this is a big one at the moment, when many people are praying, and we saw this with the fires and the floods, and we see it with the earthquakes and whatever else is going to come at us, because there's more to come. When we start praying, prayer is absolutely wonderful. But how are we praying? This is the key now. In everything you do, where are my energies of intention now? Because if I'm praying from fear, if I'm praying from powerlessness, which is fear, if I'm praying from anger, which is fear, if I'm praying and asking for what I want from blame, which is fear, none of this is going to work for you. Because you're sending out the intention, not the words, the intention, which is fear-based, and you will just see more of your fear coming back to you. And it's coming back faster and faster now because the energies are faster and faster. So this is, again, now where we need to discern and be alert to how are we projecting? How are we creating with our thoughts? And to check them before they go. This is a master at work. When you are mastering your thoughts, you are in charge and responsible for them now. And if you are blaming anybody else for anything that takes place, or everything's happening around you and you have no control of it, well, I'm sorry, that's a lie and an illusion to a degree, because you have control and you have the mastery, and you are being asked to master your thoughts and emotions for you only. And we all have the ability to do that. And that is power as opposed to control. Okay? So feel where your thoughts are. Even simply, am I believing what I'm saying? Am I fully committed to this in what I'm putting out there? Am I sending this from love? Is this absolute love in my intention right now? And if it's not, reset, retweet, go again. Simple as that. Because what you put out will simply, the energies will only bring back the energies that you are. So here's another great check of where you're at right now. If you're seeing a lot of fear immediately in your world, if you're having a lot of people present to you and you're engaging in a lot of fear-based conversations, if you're starting to realize that you're in these moments of time where it's all about the fear and you're in this space of confusion, chaos, and concern and worry, then here is your mirror of where your energies are. Regardless of how many mantras, of how many affirmations, of how many books you might be reading right now, if these people are in your world presenting fear right before you, then we must look in our mirror, because our vibrations have matched theirs. And so we look for what is presenting before us. And if that's fear, then we look to what that fear is. What are they saying? And then if there's something that they've said, we must come back to us saying, have I said that? Do I think that? Have I ever said it? Am I speaking that? Am I saying it to myself? If so, here is the mirror match. Don't judge it. Just own it. Just see it for what it is. This is where we've got to start lightening up with ourselves. Speaking nicely, have a bit of a giggle, going, aha, here's the ego. Right, I'm getting this. Okay. All right, I can do something now. If I'm awake, I can do something. And so then it's how you choose to do that. So simply lightening up the load, consciousness, awareness, you've already shifted the vibration. Now, as I said, to transform and transmute, now we bring in the big guns. Now we bring in the tools of mastery that we have on offer, that have been gifted to us from on high, and for some time now, to accelerate our path. Why wouldn't we want to use them? I don't get it. But it's okay. But the violet flame, whether you believe it or not, okay, that's okay. If you do and if you can, utilize it. It is the gift. It is the tool to transform and transmute all lesser frequencies into higher frequency patterns for within us and without of us. So again, if we're using it for us. Do it from love, not to, I need to get rid of this, I want this gone, I want to get rid of these thoughts, I don't like this anymore. No, that's fixing, that's old stuff. It's, I'm doing this because I'm loving myself. Watch your words. I'm loving myself and I want to expand my light, my consciousness now into a higher state of being. Your higher self goes, yes, right, boom, active. If it's coming from the fix and the fear, your higher self doesn't even recognize it. The vibrations don't match, doesn't know what you're saying, and you're just matching again at that fear level, and fear comes back around the circle, the spiral. Okay? So it's very, very important to be aware of what you're saying, speaking, thinking now. Okay? But don't get heady about it. But the reality is we must be conscious to it or we can't change it. I'm sorry, that's the way it is. If we want to help the planet, absolutely. But again, we don't want to be using these flames or tools of light and visuals from fear again. So we're not flaming the Earth Mother because we want this virus gone, or we want death to stop, or whatever it is that we don't like. We don't go there. It won't work. So the greatest way to utilize this flame at the moment and your wishes of love and hope is to send it out, even the love ray, simple love. May this ray, this energy I'm sending, raise all lesser energy to the highest that it can possibly be for every man, woman and child on the planet. A wondrous mantra. You have not yourself in there. You have no lesser intention. You are looking at the greater picture for every man, woman and child who is equal and at one with us. Okay, we are supporting them equally without division or separation. We have no fear in that mantra. And we are allowing simply for these beautiful rays to do their job, for there are consciousness forms of light as well, to raise frequencies so that this raises the planet, because much is being released now. Okay. So now I want to bring in another layer, because truth is we get through the layers upon layers. As the heart opens, the third eye opens. As the third eye's open, we gain wisdom. We see past the illusions. We see past the veils that we put in place, and we can see with clarity as the illumination of the light brings up the shadow and illuminates like the sunbeam for us all to see what we need to see. So Spirit kind of threw me this the other day as a thought, and I thought, wow, I actually hadn't contemplated this either to this point, and it made a lot of sense to me. So I'm giving this to you as well. Do what you will with it. First and foremost, Spirit is running the planet, okay? That's it. They've got your backs here. This is all in order. There is nothing to be concerned in the highest truth about. They know precisely what's going on. They are in charge of the greater transition. In fact, on the highest level, it's all worked out absolutely perfectly. We're just catching up to the remembrance state of such. The lights are unbelievable now. The energies are unbelievable. So as I said earlier, with these increasing light, they're pushing to the surface, but we've just gone through monumental shifts since 12/12 of last year, where we had the second 12/12/12 by numerology, and through the first eclipse seasons into early January. Okay, this momentum of energy now has not ceased. It's increasing, and it will continue throughout this decade. In saying that, what they gave me that grander picture was to show me that this, as we know it in physical, is the first time that every man, woman and child, regardless of where you are on the planet, is affected equally. No one is exempt. Now, this is a first for humanity, because we've had pockets of places that have undergone, starvation, famine, wars, genocide, you name it. There've been pockets, but the reality is, if it hasn't been in our backyard, oh, well, it's nice for a minute, we remember, but then we forget. And we move on complacently, almost apathetically. Because again, as humans with ego, it's about me. It's not about we, it's about I. Ego is about I. So we quickly forget if it's not in our face. Doesn't mean it's not happening, does it? That's their experience, and so be it. But here we have this moment where everybody's now in it, full stop. You don't have an option out. So ego's greatest fear is death. And so again, that's coming up for people. Fear is what it lives on, so we're seeing fear coming up. But what they said to me the other day was, have a look at it always, and I always try to look at everything from a different angle because that's just who I am. But with this incredible light permeating now, everybody's cellular structure is under fire as we are now ceasing the wheel of karma. The timelines of karma are destructing and falling away in the cessation of 3D and 4D timelines. Done. Doors are closed. Okay? So these timelines are falling away big time. So all the energies attached to karma, which are all fear-based, are coming up to the surface. Here we are again in fear. But as these timelines, as I said, are destructing within us, and we haven't realised because we can't see that at physical level, okay, but we're feeling the chaos within, all right? As these cells are shifting, changing, lights punching into every cell for the better, not the worse, for the better, okay? If we didn't have a space to rest in a way, we would all be having, and we do, and you've heard of ascension symptoms, and I don't try to buy into that too much like a symptom, but we do feel the shifts and changes, and these are light. As light enters your body, the body reacts, and symptom will be the last bastion to get your attention. So we're under this fire anyway of symptom, and we would have been having it regardless of COVID. Okay, so if the whole mass planet all of a sudden started getting sick and started to wonder what the hell was going on, and there were all these different symptoms taking place and people were collapsing or dying, there would even be greater panic and fear. I think we could all agree with that, because there would be no known causation. Okay, and as humans and as ego likes to know, we need to fix onto something to say, well, this is the cause, and it makes it in a way easier for us. So even though, yes, there were darker forces of ego of the world with this last hurrah, so to speak, of their attempt to create fear in the world, but this is the cells releasing fear, this is the mirror. Here on another level, and Spirit is totally aware, okay, we've almost created, remember we create everything, we've created this incredible moment which is actually giving us respite. Ironically, paradoxically, however you want to look at it, reluctantly, resistantly, whatever it is, however you're responding, reacting. The reality is we're getting lockdown time, whether you're in lockdown or whether you're going into isolation or whether you're just even being at home. Everyone's retreating. Everyone's retreating into their home. Now here's the greater mirror. It's time as we're in our home to go into our greater home of the self and to start discerning what needs to take place here, what we can work on, what we can clear, what we can look at, what we can accelerate, transmute, transform. So while we might be panicking about this COVID, and again, fear will just prolong it. Okay? There is always a greater picture to everything. And so it sits with me very comfortably that this incredible moment in time of a much grander awakening moment is actually giving us the time to work with our being. Because you wouldn't be able to cope while you're busy working, running around, looking after kids are at school. It just couldn't happen when you're busy. And we all know, for those of us that have transitioned with great big shifts and monumental moments of energy leaps, we have been put to bed. We have been put out of action. And Spirit put me out of action every time I needed to do something big, because I can't do it running around. Same deal here, everybody. We can't do it while we're running around. We are being put into an enforced spiritual rest to accommodate the frequencies of change that are now taking place in our being and world. Everything's a mirror. Nothing is independent of anything. Please remember this. And hopefully this gives you some outlook, relief, something to think about, that there is a grander picture always in play here. Okay? And the deal is for us to watch us. Now, the bigger picture again is for us as conscious adults to be very aware of our blessed little ones, be it from the tiny babe to however old our children are. And again, everyone's feeling it. So sharing of our knowledge, sharing of the wisdom is important, because knowledge is power. And our younger ones know the truth far faster than what we do as older beings. Depending on your age or depending how much ego you have and you have to work through, your kids see through you. All kids see through you. And even the tiniest of babes now, they're coming in with such incredible high vibrations. They will be your mirror too. They will show you, and always do, where fear lurks. And they'll show it through their symptom. They'll show it in their reaction before you as simply the mirror. But again, be aware if you're going into fear for your children. Pull out and just have some truthful, honest conversations that you can at their level, but more importantly, listen to them. Be very aware that you're not caught up in your stuff and you're not caught up with the TV going, because these kids absorb, and they're absorbing all energies far faster than what most adults are. So be conscious again. So what can we do now? We can do lots. And I've said this for a very long time, but it is never more important, and I said it to my eldest tonight again. To know your energy state, to be watchful of your energy state is first and foremost now. To have whatever it takes for you to feel comfortable, be that visual, be it music, be it nature, be it crystals. These are our incredible allies to bring out a news now. They are waiting to be brought forth. You know, all sentient ones on the planet are rising as well. These are coming into action and into our remembrance of their incredible use and purpose. As are the divas, the fairies, and all the beings around. Our little ones will alert us to those. The butterflies, we're seeing butterflies everywhere of the transformation. You know, I've had many calls, quite a few calls today or texts coming through of fear coming up, and that's okay. Own it, allow it. Just don't judge it and fear the fear. But as I've said to many, and I really believe this, you know, I woke up yesterday and this morning, and the first thing I'm awakened with every morning is the kookaburra. And he laughs and he laughs and he laughs. And you know, every morning I tune to the kookaburra and I thank the kookaburra, because his vibration and his laugh is showing me everything's okay on an energetic level. And not that I doubt it, but take this away as well. You know, and I said to a few people today, not just one or two, but a few that I've spoken to, if the birds are still singing and they're not falling from the skies, then what are we worrying about? They will be the first indicator when the energies, or if the energies are not okay around us. But they're fine. Nature keeps going. Nature is another great teacher for us to watch and to be part of and to energize and to rebalance. If we do nothing else, if you don't want to use violet flame or crystals, that's cool, no worries. But find something that can work for you to find the balance, or just to give you that moment so you can take that breath again. And if you don't even want to go into nature, just try to breathe. Breathing is everything. It is so important for you to remember, because again, when you're in fear, you're not getting the oxygen in. The organs aren't getting replenished. You're not getting that flow, and that oxygen is life force. And it's carrying the oxygen into your water's carrying the energy through. Allow that oxygen into your body. But even more so, and I know we've said it before, is when you're breathing, because as I said right in the beginning about energy, certain cardinal rules we can't deny. Wherever you place your focus of attention, energy must follow. Full stop. That's it. That's the laws of physics. So if you are concentrating here, whoop, 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 where's your energy going? Up here. Boom, 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 boom. So we want to shift that down. So the easiest way is the breath. Sit. Give yourself permission to be still, and we're all having plenty of still time now. Be still, and if you can get into nature, or you can have something in the background that helps calm you, or you've had a nice cup of herbal tea beforehand, or whatever again that makes your heart sing and finds you peace, do it. But then sit and breathe. And I want you to deeply breathe and take it right down into the lungs. I want you to slow it. I want you to feel your body. I want you to feel the aches, the tightness. I want you to feel your neck where it's rigid. I want you to feel your teeth, your gums. I want you to feel your whole head, because half the time we're like this. Many of us are sleeping like this. Okay, our necks are rigid because we're tied up. Okay, we want to be breathing through. Now, you don't have to be a yoga master to do this. It's simply breathing, for God's sake. Breathe. And then as you breathe, you are bringing the attention, when you concentrate on that breath, Concentrate on the heart. Picture whatever you want in the heart space to keep focused, because ego will try to distract you. Go, oh, I've got to do this, or oh, hell, I've got to get that toilet roll. That's ego kicking in, not wanting you to. So be very aware, okay? And then come back again. Keep coming back and back. And all of a sudden, then you'll start to be breathing in the flow. You'll feel, well, oh, it feels looser and lighter. And then if you can bring the violet or pink or gold or green, or it doesn't matter, do whatever feels right, bring the light in as well. You're adding light, you're adding a frequency of higher vibration. If you need oils on, a higher vibration again. If you've got music in the background, a higher vibration again. If you're in nature, a higher vibration again. These are all things that are aiding your energy. Then, if you can, seal your field. Be it a circle of blue indigo light, very good, okay? Then put in some violet around it if you can. Doesn't matter, it might be a diamond, it could be a star, it could be a tube of light, a cylinder, again, whatever works for you, it doesn't matter as long as it works for you. Because you've got to believe in what you're doing and not doing what you think you have to do, because if you don't believe it, it ain't going to work. You've got to be present with what you believe, okay? That's how change starts, and that's how change takes place. It's about belief, not about hope. You know, we have hope to get us there, but hope isn't going to cut us across the line. It's our belief that gets us across the line. It's the shifting from something less than into a positive that gets us over the hurdle. It's shifting a fear into the I can from I can't to I can, takes you over, and baby steps at a time. And as you do your baby steps, you gain in the faith in yourself, and then you gain in the faith to try something bigger next time. Doesn't matter how long it takes you, you're going to get there. You're going to do it, and you are doing it. Just keep believing in you and pull away, as I said, pull away from the media, pull away from radio, pull away from social media where you can. Stay off it as much as you can. If you're not able to counter that and you're not able to transmute and see through that, then stay away. It's as simple as that. It's a choice, and many of us, as I said, are addicted. It is like an addiction where we have to go back for the feed for the ego to get back into the fear because it feeds that source. No, we are really pulling away and cutting through. So some other quick energy things to do is cutting your ties. Vital. Cut your ties away from people, situations, thoughts. Step away where you know those frequencies, and it's helping now by us coming into our beautiful homes and retreating. Pulling away, but even in those homes, be very aware of who might be phoning, texting, and messages coming, fear-based messages. Cut, return, with love, no judgment, never, with love, because anyone in fear is lacking love. We must keep remembering that. Love is the answer. What was the question? I love that. There is no question, it's love all the way. So all fear is simply the absence of love. Remember that, okay? Now, on top of what we've got, call in your big guns. Call in your guides, your teachers, your mentors, the people, the masters, the adepts, the avatars, the Elohim, the high galactic ones, your star seeds, brothers and sisters, whoever, Arcturians, Pleiadians, whatever it is that you know that resonates, call to them. Because again, remember, you've chosen free will here. And for those people who may be watching this, and I don't think there'll be many lower ego people watching because they would have tuned out by now, and that's okay. And that's not a judgment, it's just energy. They don't like truth. Is that Source has not forgotten you. Source is not something out there that has just dumped you here and forgotten you. You are Source in truth. You are connected absolutely through the threads of love. And it's through those that we connect into the heaven on earth space of knowing all that is and the truth that we truly are and the power that we truly hold. But in this moment, if we are not asking for guidance, for help, for support, then nothing can come to us because we asked for this. We asked to come into this space of the old 3D to reclaim and remember, and we said we would, but we forgot every time. But now we're not. We're remembering now. This is the lifetime of remembering. But again, to assist us, we must ask. If you want to know, you want support, you want the strength of faith and trust and truth to assist you, call on beloved Archangel Michael and his twin Faith. Call them in, get them to stand right beside you. I've got them here beside me tonight. I call them in regularly at the moment because I can feel my life mission is shifting and changing, and I need to step up, and I want them to be with me to support me with love as I expand myself in love. If I want, I've asked actually Archangel Gabriel to come through to speak through me to open my throat chakra for clear communication. I've asked Source to flow through me tonight. In my room, I'm in the pyramid of light of amethyst. I'm in a circle of pink of angels of love. I've called the angels of violet. I've called everybody in, and not from fear. I've called them to support my field. I've called them to support me, to raise me so that I can commune to higher truth and to be clearer in all that I receive. This is why we're calling them again. Here we come back to that intention of where we're actually actioning and creating from. That is what's key here. Now, my next point is energy. Doesn't care about you as the personality. Energy is not governed by being liked or, any of those personality trait aspects. It simply follows the laws and principles of energy that are governed by the universe and galactic laws. Okay? So, the law states that as energy transforms and as the momentum of belief engages and it intensifies and accelerates, as it shifts towards, and Spirit is very mathematically precise, as it shifts towards the 51% critical mass threshold point, when we have within ourselves a belief where we really believe that over 51% of our total being and every cell in our being, we see a different reality. We have an instant different reality. Now we can do that for the globe as well. So instead, again, we have choice. Our choice is our power. Do we engage in fear and continue fear? And every time you think it, every time you talk about it, you're adding your energies to more fear and you're creating more fear. Please know that. Your consciousness choice is to recognize that and recognize that as fear, and whether you want to align to it, and that's your choice, that's okay. But you will see the ramifications of cause and effect of your choice. But on the globe, equally, when we have 51% of this globe in all one alignment of shift and truth and faith and love, we will have the shift of reality. And that is now what we are all progressing towards. Now remember, many, many years ago, and I want to mention this Master Saint Germain, because he's been one of my main men, and he is the master that led us into this Aquarian age, and his energies are very, very profound for the next 1,000 years of what this wondrous golden light civilization is we're heading into. But Saint Germain is the master who brought forth the violet flame and held the vibrations of the amethyst violet ray for ancient of times. So he's a magnificent being of light to call on as well to assist you if you're needing violet or you're wanting to transform and to transmute. Okay, we, as I said a long time ago, we are here. We must be consciously transmuting. We can't do this just in osmotic effect or in our dream time, because we signed up for the conscious game that hasn't been done. So this is why we're walking the path that we are. We have to be made aware of all that's always been in there, but we've just denied or ignored or just pushed behind doors. It's now we can't deny. It's the free radical trying to get the attention that's really waiting to be transformed. And again, if we look at fear, we often fear our fear. But if we see fear, as I said before, as that little child, we treat it differently. We talk to ourselves differently if we start to recognize that this is a part of us, of a consciousness aspect of us that we gave away or we shifted a long, long time ago and in this lifetime as well. And we let love go to replace it with a lower frequency. So we have to kind of counter that, and that antidote or that counter is love, as I've said. So the more love that we can give to ourselves, and I know that's hard for a lot of people. I get it, been there, done that. I'm still working through love as well. But how we talk to ourselves is vital. If we can lighten up the tone, if we can be more accepting of ourselves, if we can simply acknowledge, and that's why I love working with fear as a little child. That it was a little child that was wounded with you in a misperception at the time, in a 3D, 4D aspect. In the 5D, it never really happened, and I know that's hard to understand. But if we can go back and just love her and him and just see where they are and ask for forgiveness and forgive them and just hug them and cuddle them and just send our hope and reunification with them and that unity, one consciousness that we're coming back to with them, then we really make huge inroads through fear in our body. If we're asking every night now to go to the temples of healing, the temples of truth in our dream time, and that's going to be another time for another chat, we can be going to these places in our heightened beings, and we can be achieving much through there in our nighttime space, so that when we come back our energies are much clearer also. So there's so much that we can be doing for ourselves to feel helpless and to keep validating that you're helpless. I'm sorry, but that is a victim and it's a lower energy perspective. You are powerful beings. You are equally as powerful as me and as any other soul on this planet. No one is exempt at the highest level of truth. We are source at truth. We are not helpless. That is an old program. It is not true. And the minute we start confronting the beliefs that we hold that are preventing our growth, that's when we start to see growth. We start to see shift. This truly is an amazing time. It's that allowing of stepping out, as I said, disengaging your energies, finding joy in your house. I know my 14-year-old and I, we're having just quiet time together every night and we're having some amazing discussions. You know, I've really been watchful of old patterns in my family, because families are our greatest teachers and our greatest mirrors. But my intention absolutely now has been since, I can't remember, 12, I think, when I just chose to no, I'm releasing all the old, is that love is my guiding force now, and I will keep countering to love. Am I loving here? Is this coming from love? Sometimes no, I can feel the little layer creep through. I just recognise it going, there it is again, okay, got you. Transmute, thank you very much. Love you into a higher state. Don't berate yourself. Let's stop the old patterns of self-judgment. Let's stop telling ourselves we can't do this. Let's stop telling ourselves we're hopeless. Let's stop telling ourselves everybody gets it better than I do. Let's stop telling ourselves, well, I thought I was better than, and now I've fallen backwards. Let's stop all that old judgment. Let's be aware of it, because nothing can change until you do. And then just allow it. Just be gracious with yourself. Have a little laugh, find a giggle, go hug a tree, have some fun. Just however you can possibly lighten it up as best you can. Any effort is effort, and that's awesome. But we have to try, because we can't move forward unless we put that masculine foot forward. That gives us that energy to make change. The thoughts that we have are the masculine, the words we speak are the masculine, and the actions we take are the masculine. He's been stuck in fear a very long time. Let's give him his reign free now, where all the chains and shackles are released also, so that he can move freely from the divine aspect with his beloved divine goddess, who's all wise and wonderful. They're there waiting. But again, we're just like unravelling electrons that have been cloaked with heavy cloaks. And same for us when we feel weighted. Just picture these heavy cloaks that you can pull off every morning in the shower. And I'm going to finish on this because I'm over the hour and I was not intending to. But this is a really, really great little thing, and I know other people have written it, but I've been saying this for a long time and I don't care who says it. No one's right or wrong, we're just doing it. Just do it. Shower is your greatest place. If you can't see violet flame, you have a shower, most people, every day or night. And if it's the bath, so be it. Same thing. Water holds memory. Fill your water with love. You know, fill it with violet. Get in there and even just picture you're cleansing, you're washing away all the fear. If that's all it is, you're just releasing. You might just feel the cloaks. You might not see them. It doesn't matter. But just feel what you've got on your shoulders. Take it off. You might see or feel like you've got knives or heavy baskets, or you've got bricks on you, or big dark cloaks, or you've got this big heavy hat on your head, or you've got the shackles on, you've got the chains on. Take them off. Take them off. Simple as that. Don't buy into it. You don't need to know about it. That's ego. Just let them go. Pull them off one by one and watch how quick they go. Watch how quick you feel better. And then bring in the sun. Okay? Just imagine that if that violet's going through you, it's like taking the car in for service. If you're washing it all away, let it go down the drain. All the thoughts, all the stuff. Let it go. but then replenish. Replenish your being with light. Replenish your being with love where you can. If it's just light, so be it. Just picture that you're standing under the sun, or when you've had your shower, just go and find the sun if you can. Okay, even if it's a picture. Just have something around you. Have all these little things around you that are your reckoners, your reminders of what you need, so you don't forget and you don't go back as far. But I can tell you that sun is your source. All the rays of the sun come through, pink, gold, blue, violet. Okay, fill yourself up in the sun. It always makes most of us feel better when we're in the sun. Breathe it in, be in it, fill your whole body with it. And then, as I said, if you can seal yourself off, awesome to maintain it, because every time your fear comes up, every time your negative thoughts, your judgments, whatever those lower frequencies are, you're punching holes in your aura. And so you're letting more stuff come into you, which is then depletes you again. And so the journey goes. So this is why I say, if you can keep your energies up, this is going to be absolutely a major, major changing shift force for you. It's vital now. We don't have a choice against it, and it will just stop that tsunami effect from hitting you. Okay? Now, I know I keep saying last thing, but here's one last thing too. Many of us and many of our kids, okay, have chosen to work at the collective and are very sensitive to collective energies, not only theirs but the collective. So they and you may also be absorbing much. So when you feel okay and all of a sudden you don't necessarily go in to judge yourself. Check yourself first. How am I feeling? Well, I was feeling pretty good a minute ago, but now, what's going on? Okay, then just take that time to be still for a minute. And it might be that you might get a flash of someone, or you might feel like, wow, this feels like it's around me. This is actually not my stuff. This is when you need to cut your ties again. You need to be handing energies back. You need to be reinstating your field and re-establishing your frequencies again. Because again, some of us are here to transmute on behalf of many. And so again, it's a learning of energy. It's a journey that you've chosen to take. And in the doing, we gain the understanding of the wisdom. Okay, so keep an eye on that. Watch the children, watch our little ones. Give them these tools. They know these tools anyway. They'll know it better than you. Let them play. Let them do whatever they've got to do. Let them be your guide. Let them speak. Let them teach. Okay? But also explain to them too, how to cut ties, how to look after themselves. This is so important as us as mothers, because, and if our little ones are small, they can't do this or understand, then we in divine gift wisdom are able to do this for them. This is the only time we can as mothers. We can't do anybody else's fields. That's their free will. But as our children, we can, or unless we have the permission of another soul that says, yes, you can. But ideally, we want to empower not only ourselves, but we want to empower all others around us to the truth. Okay? All right, so if there's any questions, I'm going to pull off now. If there's any quick questions, I'm happy to answer them now. If you want to hang around, if anyone wants to go, you can. Or if you've got something you just want to type in, you can, and I'll answer you after I come off. So I'll just give it a second, see, because sometimes I don't get all your comments too. I don't know why it doesn't happen on Facebook. But I hope this was helpful. So if you can understand now, fear and discernment, two separate energies, no fear, no fear. But discern your way through, okay? All your teachers come to you. You've created them, you're equal, you're there for the dual mirror teaching. Okay, thank you, Kay. Thanks, Martine. Thanks, Elisa. Alrighty, blessings of love and light. I know I'll be doing more, and I will be getting organised for the School of Light coming up soon, now that everybody will probably be coming on holidays. And I will be doing adult classes for parents and children's classes, and I will also be pulling in some other facilitators with their great gifts and teachings to come along and assist too, so that we really start establishing a community of light and love, okay? And we pave the way forward to where we truly are and where we're meant to be. All right, love and grace to all of you, and I will see you when I do next. Thank you. Bye.